good afternoon po, teachers. Wait lang. Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me? Kindly confirm if you can hear me. Pasensya na. Late tayo nag-start. Kindly confirm po, teachers, if you can hear me. Kindly type 1. Kindly type 1 po, teachers, if you can hear me. I hope that you can hear me. And I hope na lahat kayo ay nakapag-lunch, na nakapag-break kanina. Am I audible po, teachers? Am I audible? This afternoon, we'll have a session for professional education. 200 questions pa rin po. The same with Jan Ed kanina. Hello, good afternoon. So kahit feeling natin sleepy tayo ngayon kasi nga siesta time, but we will still, of course, you still have to be attentive in our session this afternoon since you are going to still send your answers here in the comment box as I'm going to present the questions, okay, for professional education. Ayan. And of course, we will rationalize yung bawat item uh, for professional education. Ayan. Hello po once again. Good afternoon. Again, this is Coach Rochi, your lecturer here in Teacher Sapi Review Center. Okay, sige. So, kindly type 1 po, teachers, if you can see my screen and if you can hear me. Kasi, if nagsasalita ako dito, tapos hindi pala ninyo naririnig yung sinasabi ko, 'di ba? So, naman po. 'Di ba? So, kindly confirm po, teachers, if you can hear me. And, of course, pa-type din po ng ating hashtag, na hashtag today, hashtag LPT2026, or pwede din po, hashtag TopNotcher2026. So, let's claim it, no? Let's claim it. By God's grace, lahat po kayo ay LPTs. And hopefully po, sa batch ninyo ay may top-notchers. So, let's claim it, teachers. Okay, future LPTs. Ayan. Okay, sige. So, wala akong nababasang comments here sa comment box. And please po, teachers, para dadami yung viewers natin, send this live po or the link sa GC ninyo. Sa designated GC ninyo para at least naman ay malaman po ng mga co-reviewees ninyo na meron tayong live this afternoon. Okay? Meron tayong live this afternoon. Of course, sharing is caring, 'di ba? So, lahat lahat po kayo ay magiging LPTs. So, nilagay ko na dito part 1 and 2 para the same live lang yung mamaya. If ever magkaroon tayo ng break, the same live lang po yung ating gagamitin. Okay. Sige. Alright, wait lang. Let's see if may mga comments. Teachers, pwede po kayo, wag po kayong mahiyang mag-comment dito sa comment box. Baka mahiya lang po kayo. Anyway, nababasa ko naman po yung mga messages niyo dito or mga comments ninyo dito. Okay, so just send your comments lang po or send your answers mamaya if ever na magpa-flash na po ako ng question. Sige, so I believe you are ready na, no? So ina-assume ko na po na ready na kayo for our session this afternoon. Okay, sige. So let's start. Sige, mag-start na po tayo para hindi mo waste yung mga oras natin, no? Okay, sige. So let's start our session with number 1 for Prof. Ed. Sige, number 1, a teacher wants students to construct their own understanding through active engagement and reflection, which learning theory best supports this approach. So, uh, ang nandito po sa question, so, ang gusto ni teacher ng students niya ay magaling mag-construct, na magaling gumawa mismo ng own understanding nila. Through what? Through active engagement. So, dapat may interaction. No? Hindi pwede na individual. Okay? So, dapat may interaction with other students. No? And also, dapat meron silang reflection or capable sila of metacognitive thinking. No? So, which learning theory best supports that approach? Is it letter A, behaviorism, B, constructivism, C, essentialism, or letter D, perennialism? So, bago natin answeran yan, so dapat alam natin po yung mga isms, no? 'Di ba? Sa social dimension ito, as a old curriculum, social dim, but ito mga isms na introduce ito sa principles of teaching and even sa the teacher in the school community, if I'm not mistaken. Kasali ito siya. Yung mga exams. Pero social dim talaga yan. Social dimensions talaga yan. Itong mga exams, no? So, ayan. Okay, so when we talk about behaviorism, so 'di ba, ang factor dyan is the environment, no? Environment, kumbaga nare-reinforce yung mga bata, no? Nako-condition yung mga bata. So kung ano yung nakikita nila around them or the stimulus around them. Okay? Kaya nga, yung learners has no free will. So, kailangan ano lang sila. Kung baga, they are going just to respond kung ano yung nasa stimulus, kung ano yung nasa environment. No? And of course, pag behaviorism, kilalang mga tao sa behaviorism, di ba, we have Edward D. Thorndike, we have um, Ivan Pavlov for classical conditioning. We also have Skinner, no, for operant conditioning, 'di ba? So ayan. So yan po sa behaviorism. Okay, behaviorism approach. So environment yung may malaking factor, no, sa learning ng bata. Okay? Ayan. And then, next, we have the constructivism. So, ano palang ibig sabihin ng constructivism? Actually, this was theorized by Jerome Bruner. No? In fact, sinabi nga niya na ang mga bata ay capable of constructing or creating, no, own idea from their prior experiences or from their prior knowledge, no? Kasi nga may mga, kumbaga, Bruner believes, no, or believed that students or even the child ay may kanya-kanya siyang experiences, no, mga previous experiences niya noon at mga prior knowledge niya. And with that, no, ay kayang ng bata na makakreate siya mismo ng kanyang sariling understanding, sariling idea, no, out of that experiences and knowledge, mga prior experiences niya at saka knowledge. So, yan yung ibig sabihin ng constructivism. Pag sabihin naman natin essentialism, so essence precedes existence. Kaya nga, di ba, magkasalungat yan sila dalawa, yung essentialism and existentialism. Kasi kapag sabihin po nating essence, no, essence, ano ang ibig sabihin ng essence? Yung mahalaga, mga important things, di ba? So, ano palang mahalaga sa isang bata? Dapat alam ng bata yung mga basics, di ba? Kaya nga pag essentialism, back to basic approach. So, yan yung ginagawa ni teacher kapag kahit anong gawin niya, hindi talaga magaling yung bata, no, sa sa fundamentals, especially for example, pag tuturo ka ng mathematics, no, so hindi pwede jump ka kaagad sa progressivism, eh. Hindi pa nga alam ng students kung paano sila mag-solve ng ganyan, unless na lang kung lahat ng mga students mo ay matatalino lahat, no? Pero it's so rare to have that kind of classroom, 'di ba? Classroom setting na lahat ay matalino talaga. Okay? So, So, ayan, 'di ba? So, um, in that manner, okay, sa essentialism, that's why kailangan pag-aralan, no? Kung ano yung fundamentals, no? Ano yung basic, 'di ba? Back to basic. So, 'di ba? Sa back to basic, dapat at least alam ng child how to read, how to write, how to count numbers, 'di ba? 3 R's. So, yan yung sa essentialism. William Bagley po ang proponent niyan. And we also have, of course, ang perennialism. So, perennial, perennial, from the word itself, perennial, lasting forever, no, constant, always, no? So, yung mga ideas na yan, yung mga knowledge na yan, existent yan siya nung una pa hanggang ngayon, up until the moment. That's why, usually, at tinuturo, diba, kapag perennial ka na teacher, diba, usually, you are, like, sa mga literature, diba, Shakespeare na mga stories, ganyan. And we also have, of course, yung mga pinag-aaralan sa Bible, 'di ba? Yung mga lessons sa Bible, 'di ba? So yan siya. So perennial, lasting forever. And even yung mga sa social science, 'di ba? Mga social studies na mga ano about history, ayan. Kasi 'di ba ang history, of course, our present, of course, it is the reflection of our past din, 'di ba? So ayan. So ibig sabihin yung ideas na yan, hindi lang yan siya nung unang panahon. But until now, it can still be used, no? Up until now, existing pa rin. So, yan siya. So, yan yung ibig sabihin ng perennial. Perennial forever. Oo. And, uh, diba, syempre pag perennialism, permanence, no? May permanence. And tandaan yung proponent yan, we have Robert Hutchins, no? If you're familiar with that one. So, in this case, kasi construct their own understanding. So, construct, the word itself, ang tamang sagot, letter B, constructivism. Okay? Letter B, constructivism. Okay, wait lang po, teachers. Nagsisend po ba kayo ng answers? Hindi ko po makita yung mga sagot ninyo. Kindly send your answers po, teachers. Huwag po kayong mahiyang wala naman po magja-judge ng answers po ninyo. Huwag po kayong mahiyang at least man lang po ay malaman ko po kung ano yung sagot ninyo, di ba? Na, this is a sort of test taking, no, para ma-improve po yung test taking ninyo. Wait lang po, i-check ko po kasi baka dito sa ano ko, sa end ko, hindi ko makita yung mga comments ninyo. I-check ko sa live dito sa phone kung marinig ninyo. Ay, okay. Hindi ko talaga makita yung comments ninyo. Wait lang. Pero nagko-comment kayo. So, thank you, teachers. No, pasensya na. Okay, sige. So, end ko kasi dito sa dito sa laptop. Hindi ko makita yung mga comments ninyo. Hindi ko alam kung anong sagot ninyo. Anyway, sige. So, again, ang correct answer for this one, we have letter B, constructivism. Okay, let's proceed. Number 2, which assessment method is most appropriate for evaluating students' ability to apply scientific inquiry skills? Sige daw po. Anong assessment method yung appropriate, yung tama? Because you want to know the ability of the students in applying scientific inquiry skills. Scientific inquiry. So, ano ba ang dapat dyan? Multiple choice test ba? Matching type test ba? Performance task? True or false test? So, syempre, dahil inquiry yan, scientific inquiry. So, it entails higher order thinking skills, di ba? Ano yung mga higher order thinking skills? We have analysis, we have evaluation, and creation, di ba? Creating, evaluating, applying, analyzing, di ba? So, in that case, kasi nga, you want to know their ability, no? Sa inquiry na yan, since higher order thinking skills, so dapat ang assessment method mo rin, it measures also the higher order thinking skills ng mga bata. So, kailangan ba na dapat multiple choice test? Pag mga MCQ kasi, mga multiple choice questions, it is a pen and paper test, diba? Pen and paper test. So, it's a traditional test, no? Traditional type of test, no? Also, the matching type. Kasi may mga choices. Same with multiple choice, may choices. Ang true or false din, may choices din. True or false, diba? Alternate response lang siya. Okay, so ang tamang sagot dito, we have letter C. So, performing a task or performance task. So, yan yung better na dapat gawin. Okay? Next, let's have number 3. According to Bloom's revised taxonomy, which cognitive process requires the highest level of thinking? Oh, sa revised Bloom's taxonomy, kasi 'di ba ang original na Bloom's taxonomy kay Benjamin Bloom man talaga 'yan in 1956, 'di ba? So, um 'di ba dati kay kaase yan siya, no? Kay kaase, knowledge from lower to higher, that's knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. So sa old, no, yung original talaga na Bloom's taxonomy, evaluation yung highest, 'di ba? But in the revised Bloom's taxonomy by Lauren Anderson and his colleagues, no, ay hindi na evaluation ang highest. So, RUA-AEC na siya. RUA-AEC. Yun yung aking ano, yan yung ginagamit ko na, tawag dito? Yun yung ginagamit ko na mnemonics para hindi ko makalimutan, no? Sa old, kay kaase. Sa revised, we have RUA-AEC. No? So, remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So, in other words, the highest level we have create. Okay, letter D. Tandaan po, teacher, sa letter D, create. No? Create po sa revised. Yung sa original, yung kay Benjamin Bloom talaga, yung old, that's evaluation. No? Pero nabago po yan kasi na-revised po yan siya. No? So, creating. No? So, ayan. Hindi na po evaluation yung highest. Tapos, dati, kasi naka-noun yung original. Pero sa revised, instead of noun, na-change siya or na-revise siya into verb. Verb, kasi pag verb, action, 'di ba? So, kasi usually, syempre, you want to know the students if ma-perform nila yan ng mga task, ma-achieve nila yan. So, ano siya, better if behavioral verbs, no? Action word talaga. That's why napalitan siya into action words. So create. So letter D po ha, highest sa revised. Okay, revised. Kay Lauren Anderson yan. Okay? Tsaka yung mga colleagues niya. Next, number 4. A student consistently disrupts class discussions. According to behaviorist principles, which intervention is most likely to reduce the behavior? So, si student, parati siyang nakaka-disrupt daw sa discussion ng klase. So, according to behaviorist, behaviorism dapat yung i-follow ha, kasi yan yung nandyan sa question. So, anong dapat intervention mo as a behaviorist teacher? Sige. I-ignore lang ba yung behaviors ng bata? Is it letter B, provide positive reinforcement? Is it letter C, giving more assignments? Or letter D, reducing instructional time? So, under sa behaviorism, dapat po ay, ayan, mag-provide ka, magbigay ka ng reinforcement. Diba na-mention ko kanina na ang mga kilalang tao sa behaviorism, we have Skinner. One of them is Skinner. And si Skinner is actually siya sa operant conditioning. So, sa operant conditioning, nandiyan yung reinforcement, punishment, ganyan. Pero, yeah, reinforcement because you want the students to execute good behavior, good actions. That is why you want to reinforce. Mag-provide ka ng positive reinforcement. For example, Kasi lagi siya nagdi-disrupt, no? Tanungin mo siya. Kung magpa-participate, instead of mag-disrupt siya sa class discussion mo, you allow him na lang na mag-participate sa klase mo. Magtanong-tanong ka ng questions, 'di ba? Tapos magsabi ka kung sino yung makatama ng sagot, may plus point. O ganyan, pwedeng ganyan, no? Yung positive reinforcement mo. Yan. So, yun siya. So, yan. So, letter B, providing positive reinforcement for appropriate participation. Letter B. Next, number 5. Which principle is central to outcome-based education? Di ba ngayon, OBE na po tayo, outcome-based education na tayo. Sige, so ano yung central, the center, the main ng OBE ngayon? Sige po, ano pala ang tamang sagot? Is it letter A? Content coverage determines success. Importante ba na matapos lahat ng lahat ng mga content sa libro? 'Di ba dati ma-remember ninyo, yung teacher dati may teacher kasi ako dati na wala siyang pakialam kung nakakuha kami sa concept basta matapos niya lang talaga yung content, matapos niya yung unit, 'di ba? Parang 'di ba? So, yeah. Ganun ba ang OBE? Wrong 'yan, no? How about letter C? Textbooks dictate curriculum goals. So, ang textbooks ba ang kumbaga nagdidikta no ng achievements no ng ma-achieve yung curriculum? Tama ba yan? Wrong din. Standardized tests are the sole basis of evaluation. Mga standardized tests, like for example, yung NAT, mga National Achievement Test, standardized yan, di ba? Pwede rin yung mga MCQ, no? Basis ba yan ng evaluation ng bata na magaling siya or hindi? Mali din yan. So, pag OBE po, learning outcomes, no? Learning outcomes, guide instruction, and assessment. Kaya nga, di ba, every time na magdi-discuss tayo, we will start always with the learning objectives, with the learning outcomes. Ano pala yung dapat ma-achieve ng students, no? Kapag matapos na yung 1 hour discussion or 1 hour session, ganyan. Diba? So, dapat merong goal. Yun yung sinabi na begin with the end in mind. Okay? So, ano yung begin with the end in mind? You start with the goal. You start with the outcome. Ano pala yung gusto mong ma-achieve? Ano pala yung gusto mong perform ng mga bata? So, yan, diba? Because with that outcome, okay, of course, yan yung nag-guide ng instruction mo, ng flow ng lesson mo, ng content ng lesson mo, and even your assessment. How you're going to assess or measure the performance of students. Kaya nga lahat, dapat may alignment yan. Lahat ng content, di ba sa lesson plan natin, lahat ng content, lahat ng assessment, no? Ano pa yan dyan, no? Application, assignment, lahat yan. So, dapat konektado with your learning outcomes, no? So, yan. Okay, let's have number 6. A teacher asks students to compare and contrast two theories. Which thinking skill is primarily being developed? So, again, ang ating clue dyan is compare and contrast. So, anong thinking skill yan? Pag-compare and contrast. Compare and contrast, you have to determine, no? Identify kung ano yung similarities. Di ba parang mong i-breakdown sila? Di ba? Bini-breakdown mo. So, the correct answer to this is analysis, no? Analyzing ang compare and contrast. Bakit? For example, pagawain mo yung student, no, ng Venn diagram. So, 'di ba Venn diagram, it's a type of diagram to show comparison and contrast ng dalawang opposite ideas. So, yan, or dalawang idea. So, compare yung mga bata, compare nila yan, isusulat nila, i-breakdown nila. Ano yung kaibahan at saka similarities? What are the similarities and the differences of the two ideas? Diba? So, bini-breakdown ng bata. Pag mag-breaking down yung bata, that is analyzing. Okay? Breaking down, no? The ideas, the central theme or the central ideas into different chunks or different yung parang specific, from general to specific, no? Analysis, no? So that is letter D, analyzing. Okay, letter D, analyzing. Next, number 7. Which type of validity refers to the extent to which a test adequately samples the content it is intended to measure. O, 'di ba? Kasi minsan noon, 'di ba, kung na-encounter ninyo, may mga test kasi na kahit wala sa lesson or kahit hindi na tawag dito, hindi turo ni teacher, pero sinali pa rin niya sa test, no? So, or kumbaga, hindi din part or hindi siya coverage ng unit na yun, pero sinali pa rin. So, ibig sabihin, wala siyang content validity. Ganon. So, dapat yung test, no? It samples, no? The content it is intended to measure. So, hindi ka pwedeng magsali. For example, no? Dahil galit ka sa mga students mo, tapos nagawa ka ng exam, tapos yung isasali mo ng mga questions sa exam, yung para sa next quarter pa, hindi pwede ganun, di ba? So dapat your test will sample the content it is intended to measure. So kung ano yung content for that particular periodical test, ano yung naturo mo lang sa student mo, yun na yun. Yun lang dapat. Hindi na mag-go beyond, no? Kasi mawawala na yung content validity ng exam. In other words, anong magiging effect niyan? Magiging positively skewed yung scores ng mga bata. Ibig sabihin, low yung scores nila. Unless na lang kung nag-advanced study sila. Diba? So, yeah. So, dapat, your test will sample the content it is intended to measure. Next, number 8. A learner can solve problems independently that were previously solved only with assistance. According to Lev-Vygotsky, this indicates successful learning within the ayan. So, si Lev-Vygotsky, kilala si Lev-Vygotsky, di ba, sa social cognitive. Ang bata daw ay, kumbaga, mai-improve yung cognition niya or yung knowledge niya through social interaction. Do you believe on that? Diba? Kumbaga, makaka-learn yung bata. Mas makaka-learn yung bata kapag may social interaction with other learners, no, with their peers, diba? So, yan. Nakalagay dito, a learner can solve problems. Kaya na ng bata na maka-solve siya ng problems na mag-isa lang siya. Na noon, hindi pa niya kaya kasi nga kailangan pa niya ng assistance or scaffolding. Kailangan pa niya ng assistance or tulong, no, sa mga MKO or more knowledgeable others. Pero ngayon, yung bata, magaling na siya, 'di ba? Magaling na siyang mag-solve na kaya niya siya lang mag-isa mag-solve, 'di ba? So ano yan siya? According to Levi-Vygotsky, sabihin, yung successful learning na yan ay nasa ZPD na po ang bata, no? So zone of proximal development. Okay, letter B, zone of proximal development. 'Di ba? So yan. Kaya nga, 'di ba, hindi pwede na mag-judge ka kaagad sa bata na kahit kailan hindi ka talaga marunong diyan, no? Hindi pwede ganoon. Kasi of course, through scaffolding or through assistance, there will come a time na ang bata is magre-reach talaga siya sa zone of proximal development niya, in which kaya na niya na siya lang mismo ang gagawa ng tasks on his or her own. Ayan. Okay, sige, number 9. Which classroom practice best demonstrates differentiated instruction? Ayan, DI. So, mahalaga masyado yung differentiated instruction. Especially, I believe, yung iba sa inyo nagtuturo na, nag-start na magturo ngayon, di ba? So, ini-encourage actually yung mga teachers ngayon, no, na nagtuturo, no, na dapat maggamit talaga ng DI or differentiated instruction. Diba? Because, bakit kailangan ng differentiated instruction? Because you can expect that your learners, iba-iba ang learners mo sa classroom. Hindi pwede na isa lang yung learners mo. Diba? May mga iba't ibang learning style, may mga iba't ibang intelligences yung mga bata mo. So, you need to apply differentiated instruction. So, ano pala ang differentiated instruction? That is letter C, no? So, you're going to provide different or varied activities, diba? For example, if may mga bata akong visual, okay, mga visual. So, bigyan mo sila ng activity na pang visual. May mga bata ako na kinesthetic learners. dapat talaga mag-move sila para maka-ano sila, maka-learn sila. O bigyan mo sila ng activities na maka-move sila kinesthetically. May mga learners ako na auditory. So, dapat bigyan mo rin sila ng activities na pang-auditory. So, ganyan po ang DI, differentiated instruction. Okay, so letter C. Again, based on the readiness level ng bata. No? So, depende rin yun siya, di ba? So, you need to also uh, consider no, the development ng bata, no? The readiness level ng bata. Kung kaya niya na. Kasi may mga ibang students, di ba, especially nasa lower grades pa na they tend to, kumbaga, hindi pa nila alam kung ano talaga yung learning style nila. Yes, kasi hindi pa nila, syempre, nasa lower grade pa. So, hindi pa nila kumaga wala pa silang metacognition na hindi nila ma-identify anong type of learner ako, 'di ba? Pero yung nang malalaki na, 'di ba? So, alam na nila. Okay? That's why you have to 'di ba? You have to know the interest of your students. That's why importante talaga hindi lang yung mga data na nakukuha ng guidance counselor, no? Based on the result of the exam during the entrance exam ng bata. So, mahalaga yan siya na data because you will know, you as an advisor, you as a teacher, malalaman mo kung ano yung interest ng bata. Saan siya magaling? Oh, ganyan. Diba? So, next, let's have number 10. A test is considered reliable when pag reliability, when we talk about reliability po, teachers, tandaan ang word na consistency. Tandaan, pag reliability, consistent dapat. Okay? Okay? A valid test is a reliable test. But not all reliable tests are valid. Tandaan yan siya. Okay? A valid test is a reliable test. But not all reliable test is a valid test. Okay? So, hindi lahat ng mga reliable test ay valid siya. But, yung mga valid test, automatically, reliable yan. Bakit? Ano pala ibig sabihin ng reliability? Di ba sabi ko sa inyo, may consistency. And that is letter B. Produces consistent results over time. So, kahit yung test na yan, kahit bigay po pa yan pa ulit-ulit sa estudyante, kung yan talaga yung scores nila, may consistency sa scores nila, ayun na talaga yan. No? So, may reliability yung test na yan. Okay? So, letter B. Next, number 11. Which educational philosophy emphasizes the transmission of essential knowledge and skills? Sige, ano siya? Diba sinabi ko to kanina? Kapag mga essential or yung mga back to basic, no, basics, no, mga fundamentals, 3 R's, walang iba kundi essentialism. Okay? Yung alam naman natin, di ba, pag existentialism, existence precedes essence, no? So, nakadepende sa may choice yung bata, may freedom siya, okay? Kaya nga existence siya, di ba? Yan usually yung mga clues kapag existentialism, no? May choice, no? You have the decision, okay? Ayan. Responsibility, ganyan. Yan yung pag-existentialism, okay? Pero kapag reconstructionism, for example, may mga social issues no na alam yung bata, no? Social issues na alam ng bata, no, sa reconstructionism, then they want to suggest how to solve that issue. So social reconstructionism 'yan. Pero kung yung bata they learn through what they are going to do, that's progressivism, learning by doing, 'di ba? John Dewey. Progressivist ang bata kapag nakaka-learn siya kapag, of course, nape-perform niya yung task mismo. No, learning by doing, hands-on experiences, no, first-hand experiences, ganyan pag progressivism. Pero kapag essential knowledge, no, reading, writing, arithmetic, 3 R's, o reading, of course, read, writing, then arithmetic is numbers. Okay? The students know how to count. Kasi yan yung mga essence, yan yung mga fundamentals, yan yung mga basic, di ba? So, again, letter C. Next, let's have number 12. A teacher notices that students learn better when visual aids accompany verbal explanations. Di ba kasi yung iba, Ganyan din ako. Kasi, mas ma-appreciate ko kung may visual aid, tapos may verbal explanation. So, para akong verbal auditory, di ba? So, these findings is most closely related to, what is that? That is actually dual coding theory. Okay? So, may ganyang students na hindi lang verbal lang sila, hindi lang visual lang sila, hindi lang auditory lang sila. May ibang students ka na uh, visual at the same time kinesthetic, ganyan. So, dual coding theory yan siya. Okay? Dual coding theory. Letter A. Next, let's have number 13. Which is the best example of formative assessment? Ito, formative. Diba? Tinawag nga siyang formative because you're going to assess the child or the students during the formation of his or her learning. During formation. During formation of learning. So, kailan ba ang formation of learning? Siyempre, while nag-discuss si teacher. No? So, ibig sabihin, ang best example for that is yung classroom questioning during a lesson. So, that is a type of formative assessment. Pwede rin po yung short quiz. Diba? Minsan, while nagtuturo si teacher, gusto niyang i-check kung may understanding ba, uh, gusto niya i-monitor kung nakagets na ba kayo, 'di ba? Magkagets na bang students? So minsan nagpapa-short quiz siya. Minsan din nagpapa-oral recitation si teacher. Minsan din yan, classroom questioning, 'di ba? Ayan. So that's a sort of formative assessment. Okay? Ang NAT quarterly ang graduation exam sa Mativ yan. Okay? Yan siya. Next, number 14. Under the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers or PPST, teachers are expected to, under the PPST, so tayo mga teachers, dapat alam natin itong PPST because nakalagay dito yung mga standards to as professional teachers. Of course, 'di ba, may standards nga yung 'di ba, ang basic education system natin. So dapat may standards din tayong mga teachers, no? Dapat din, aligned din with the international standard. Ayan. So, ano pala ang expected sa teacher? So, expected sa teacher ay, okay, the correct answer is letter B, promote learner-centered. Uh, Ibig sabihin si teacher, facilitator na lang, guide on the side na lang. Sino na ngayon yung center, the center of the curriculum, the core of the curriculum? Syempre, walang iba kundi ang learner. So, siya na yung uh, ang students na dapat yung gumagawa mismo, no? Guide on the side ka na lang, facilitator ka na lang, no? Si student, kasi gone are those days na si teacher yung sage on the stage, di ba? Lahat, all throughout the 1 hour session, wala, nakaupo, nakangal lang ang mga students, nakikinig lang sa teacher. 'Di ba? Masyadong teacher-centered 'yan. But, of course, at present, sa bagong curriculum, ay learner-centered na and practice inclusive education. Ano nga ibig sabihin ng inclusive education? Regardless kung anong background man ng bata, no? Okay? Anong background ng bata, ano yung mga learning style niya, anong interest niya. Okay, dapat belong siya inside the classroom, no? So, equal yung treatment among the learners. Okay? Regardless kung anong background. So, that's inclusion. Inclusion. Hindi exclusion. Okay? So, letter B. Next, let's have number 15. A teacher asks students to maintain journals documenting their learning progress. This is an example of, ano yan siya? Maintaining journals documenting their learning progress. That is, ano nga yung ginagawa natin? If we want to collect our purposeful collection of all our products, learning products, no, ang progress ng ating learning, 'di ba? So that is actually portfolio. Okay, portfolio assessment. Kasi nakalagay sa portfolio lahat na yan. No? Mga documentations, ng learning progress, ng journals, ng reflection, lahat. No? I believe nakagawa kayo nitong portfolio kasi one of the requirements yan siya during your internship. No? So, yan siya. So, portfolio assessment. Okay? Ayan. So, nakalagay dyan yung learning progress ng bata. So, may progress ba? Nung nag-start yung klase hanggang sa nag-end yung klase. Okay? End yung school year. Next, number 16. Which learning theory emphasizes observation, imitation, and modeling? Anong learning theory yan? Pag mag-emphasize, di ba, first, si student, mag-observe muna siya. Kung ano nakikita niya sa model, ay, nag-observe muna siya. Observe, watch, see, ano ba. Then afterwards, kung ano nakita niya sa model, ay ginagaya niya. Diba? Ginagaya niya. And then modeling. So what is that? That is actually, kay Albert Bandura yan siya. That's social learning theory. Okay, letter C, social learning theory by Albert Bandura. Okay? Ganyan, may learning theory na ganyan, 'di ba? Kaya importante, that's why tayo mga teachers tayo, 'di ba? So, maging careful tayo sa mga ginagawa natin kasi nga yung mga younger ones, no, yung mga students ay everything na sinasabi natin or yeah, the way we dress, the way we act, no, ay ginagaya nila. Okay? That's social learning theory. Social learning theory. But not only the teachers, but there are many, marami silang pwedeng gayahin. Let's say, for example, ngayon, exposed na yung mga students sa media. Diba? That's why nakakatakot na yung mga students ngayon. No? Kung alam niyo yung balita, diba? Somewhere doon sa Visayas part, yung nag-ano talaga, nagkaroon ng ano doon sa school, diba? Ayan, so very ayan, it's a factor talaga doon yung media, no? Because exposed yung bata ngayon ng media. Okay? So, yan siya. Sige. So, let's have number 17. A teacher wants to determine students' prior knowledge before beginning a new unit. Which assessment should be used? Yan. Ano ito? Teacher wants to determine students' prior knowledge. O, gusto mong malaman kung may prior knowledge bang bata mo o wala. Kasi magsa-start ka na sa bagong unit. Unit 1, Unit 2 ka na ngayon. Sige, anong assessment yung dapat dyan? Okay, because you want to assess the knowledge of your students, the prior knowledge kung meron ba o wala. So you need to use diagnostic because in diagnostic assessment, para tayong teacher, no, para tayong mga doktor na dinadiagnose natin kung may knowledge ba, may kaalaman ba ang batang ito sa expected topic. Okay? So, yan siya. So, diagnostic assessment. Because in diagnostic assessment also, you will know, you will know the strengths, the weaknesses, the difficulties ng bata in that particular topic. That's why importante yung diagnostic assessment. Okay? Diagnostic assessment. When we talk about prior, yung previous, mga nakaraan niya na mga knowledge. Sige, number 18. In classroom management, the with-itness concept was introduced by with-itness. Diba dapat ganyan tayo teachers, no? Kahit hindi natin nakikita yung students, kahit nakatalikod tayo, alam natin yung nangyayari inside the classroom. Diba? So, ano yan? With-itness. Eyes at the back of one's head. Kaya nga, di ba, sinasabi ng mga students na, kahit wala dito si ma'am, alam niya kung anong nangyayari dito sa amin. May mga mata si ma'am dito. So, with witness principle, that is actually Jacob Kunin. So, introduced by Jacob Kunin. Sa classroom management po ito siya. No, Jacob Kunin. According to Jacob Kunin, dapat daw yung classroom ay anticipatory, preventive, proactive, kaya kailangan mag-set ng classroom rules. Okay? Ganyan. Okay, next, number 19. Which is the most authentic measure of a student's public speaking competency? Most authentic measure. Because you want to measure the ability of students in public speaking. So, syempre, pag public speaking, gusto mo authentic, real, o dapat magpa-speech ka talaga sa bata, 'di ba? So letter C, no, letter C, actual speech presentation before an audience because you want to you want to kung may abilidad ba talaga yung bata mo, 'di ba? Yung children, yung students sa public speaking. Magaling ba sila diyan, 'di ba? So dapat may actual speech presentation. Okay? So letter C, that's the most authentic or the real. Okay? Most real talaga na, na gawin mo as a teacher. Okay? So actual speech presentation before an audience. Number 20, a teacher adjusts instruction based on assessment results obtained during a lesson. This practice is known as, ayan. So, 'di ba, during the lesson, of course, syempre, during formation man yan, formation of learning ng bata, assessment for learning. So, ikaw na teacher, i-adjust mo the way you teach the concept kasi baka mabilis ka din 'di ba, mag-teach, hindi ka agad na ng bata or medyo mahirap, complex lang talaga yung pagka-explain mo, ganyan. So, you have to adjust instruction based on the result of the assessment. 'Di ba? Kasi for example, nagpa-short quiz ka tapos upon knowing na ang scores ng mga bata ay low pa rin. Ayan. So, dyan na, dapat i-adjust mo yung instruction mo, ay low pa rin. Adjust mo na yung instruction mo, paano mo ituro sa bata na mas, yung simplify. No? Para makuha nila talaga ano yung ibig mong sabihin. Okay? So, that practice is actually known as data-driven instruction. Okay? Data-driven instruction. Text number 21. According to Jean Piaget, hypothetical and abstract reasoning emerges during which stage? Kilala si Jean Piaget as um, si Jean Piaget kilala siya sa cognitive development theory, 'di ba? Cognitive development theory, actually hindi yung mga bata na maliit pa lang, no, or younger pa lang sila, hindi ibig sabihin na dahil younger pa sila ay bobo sila. Hindi ganon yung cognitive development theory. It's just that, yun lang talaga yung development pa ng kanilang cognition at that stage. No, hindi ibig sabihin na hindi sila kaagad marunong for example, 1 plus 2, hindi nila kaagad 1 plus 2, 3, tapos pag i-revise nila yan, 3 minus 2, hindi nila ma-answer yan kaagad. Kasi nga, hindi ibig sabihin wala silang knowledge for that, no? Hindi ibig sabihin na wala silang knowledge for that. It's just that, yun lang talaga yung development pa ng cognitive nila at that stage kasi nga bata pa sila. O, diba? We have the 4 stages of cognitive development ng bata. We have the sensory motor, the pre-operational, we have the concrete operational, and the formal operational stage. Now, kapag yung bata is magaling na silang create ng educational guess, hypothesis, no? Kahit hindi, kumbaga, nai-imagine na nila, magaling na sila mag-imagine, mag-hypothesize na sila, what is the possible outcome kapag may experiment sila nito? Ano kaya yung mangyayari nito? The water will change its color, mga ganyan, may hypothesis na sila. And they are capable of abstract thinking. Ibig sabihin ng abstract thinking, kahit wala silang makita, no? Kahit walang makita ang learners, ay kaya nilang i-imagine yan sa utak nila, kahit wala silang makita in actual. So, pag ganyan, no, ibig sabihin, nasa highest stage na yung bata. Nasa formal operational stage. Again po, pag hypothetical and abstract, formal yan. Usually, ang nasa formal operational stage, yung mga high school. Yan, formal operational na talaga yan. But the elementary, nasa concrete operational. Bakit? Kasi yung mga elementary students, they are capable of thinking that one, magets nila yan, pero dapat concrete. Mamakita talaga sila. May makita talaga sila Kaya di ba makita mo sa textbooks ng mga ng mga elementary na hindi lang siya puro text, may mga images. That's the reason why. Kasi kailangan may makita sila, concrete. Concrete kasi, when I talk about concrete, dapat may makita sila in actual. Yan yung concrete. Pero pag abstract, kahit wala sila makita, kahit puro texts lang yan, kaya nilang i-imagine yan. Diba? Kaya nga yung mga students na high school na, pwede na sila yung iba, nag-read na sila ng mga novels, no? Kaya na nilang isip-isipin, mag-imagine lang sila sa utak nila because nasa formal operational stage na sila. Okay? Ang pre-operational naman po, ang pre-operational, that happens sa mga kindergarten or sa mga preschooler. Okay? So, syempre may errors pa rin sa thinking nila. Then again, it's normal kasi nga, nasa pa lang sila stage na yun eh. Pre-operational stage. Okay? Ayan. And then, you also have the sensory motor sa babyhood. Oh. So, more on senses, motor activities. That is why, diba, yung mga bata, especially the babies, no, ay grabe yung motor movements nila. Movements ng mga katawan, no? Mag-grip sila, 'di ba? Ayan, so yeah, and that's actually sa sensory motor stage, no? Babyhood, infancy. Ayan. So, ayan. So, tandaan po, pag hypothetical and abstract, formal operational yan siya. Okay? Tandaan, formal operational. Next, number 22. Which type of test item is most effective for measuring the ability to organize and synthesize ideas? Ano yan siya? Kapag ability to organize, may organization, tapos you know how to synthesize. Ano ibig sabihin na synthesize? Ibig sabihin, putting your ideas together. Ibig sabihin, magaling kang gumawa, no? Synthesize, putting your ideas together and organize it in a manner na alam mo, ma-identify mo anong introduction, anong body, anong conclusion. That is essay test. Okay, tandaan, essay test yan. Ang multiple choice matching type, ano kasi yan, di ba? May mga choices. So, wala na. Hindi na synthesize yan. Ang completion, hindi rin synthesis. Kasi you just have to provide lang, to supply. Di ba? Yung mga fill in the blanks, yan, supply type of test yan. But, pag organization and synthesis, essay test. Okay? Letter D, essay test. Next, number 23. In educational measurement, a negatively skewed distribution generally indicates that, tandaan teachers, i-aim nyo talaga na kayo ngayong September 2026 let, no, lahat kayo ay negatively skewed yung distribution ng inyong scores. Ano pala ibig sabihin pag negatively skewed? Hindi ibig sabihin pag negatively skewed, bagsak ha? Negatively skewed, it means most students scored high. No? So yan yung i-aim niyo. Dapat negatively skewed exam result in September 2026. Okay? So most students scored high. Pag positively skewed, yan yung low ang scores. Low ang scores. Usually, ang positively skewed, makukuha yan na scores, yung scores is low during pre-test. During diagnostic, expect din kasi nga, wala bang masyadong knowledge yung bata. But since nag-review yung bata, nag-aral yung bata, no? So, after that, we have the post-test. So, sure talaga na negatively skewed ang bata. So, mataas yung scores niya. Okay? So, ganyan. Okay, next, number 24. A teacher encourages learners to identify social issues and develop solutions that can improve society. This reflects which educational philosophy? O yan, sinabi ko yan kanina, di ba? So, may social issues and gusto ng bata i-solve, at least man lang, no? Develop solutions to improve society. What ism is that? That is social reconstructionism. Okay? Social reconstructionism. Next, which provision of Republic Act number 10533 emphasizes the development of lifelong learners equipped with 21st century skills? Anong provision sa RA 10533? The development of lifelong. Okay, that is the K to 12 basic education curriculum. Okay, so yan yung RA 10533. Ano yung 10533? RA 10533, Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013 or the K to 12. Okay, let's have number 26. A teacher begins the lesson by asking students to recall what they learned yesterday before introducing a new topic. Which teaching principle is applied? Ayun, ha? Again, ha? Si teacher, nag-start siya sa lesson niya. Gusto niyang i-recall kung may natutunan ba or may na ma-recall pa ba ang bata sa sa lesson na kanilang tinakil yesterday bago siya mag-proceed to the next topic. What is that? Ano yan siya? Okay, tandaan that is transfer of learning yan, teachers, no? Ang readiness, usually, may-measure din yung readiness kapag mag-introduce na tayo ng topic, no? So, yan na yung time na maggawa ka na ng motivational activity leading to your new topic. So, yan yung readiness para ready ang students for the new topic. Ganyan. Pero kapag ganito, you are asking students to recall what they learned yesterday. So, you are trying to, at least, diba, dapat may transfer of learning. Okay? Application. Na kumbaga, kaya ng students, no, to recall kung ano yung nadaanan na lesson. Okay? So, transfer of learning application. Okay? So, that is letter D. Next, number 27. Which assessment is administered before instruction to determine students' prior knowledge? Actually, na-revise na ang question na ito. Ano kayong sagot natin dito? That is diagnostic. Tandaan po, diagnostic ha. Kapag gusto mong i-assess yung prior knowledge ng bata, diagnostic talaga. Kasi mag-diagnose ka para tayo mga teachers parang doctor who diagnose kung may difficulties ba ang bata, may strengths, may weaknesses, diba? Ganyan. Kaya nga, may doctor of education, diba? Okay, let's have number 28. According to Piaget, grade 5 learner is most likely in which stage? Pag grade 5, ang grade 5 is elementary. So, saan stage yan? Pag grade 5, most likely nasa concrete operational. Okay? So, actually, tama na yung thinking nila, but mas na-appreciate nila or mas naiintindihan nila kapag makita nila concretely. Yes. Pag ma-experience nila talaga or makita nila sa dalawang mata nila, ma-feel nila, mga senses nila and everything. Okay, next. Number 29. A teacher praises students immediately after giving the correct answer. Anong example yan? Ano yan siya? 'Di ba? After you receive, kumbaga yung bata, after giving the correct answer sa teacher, si teacher nagbigay ka ng praise sa bata. Yung praise na yan, that is an example of positive reinforcement. No? Positive feedback, good feedback, praise, awards, recognition, positive reinforcement yan. Okay? Yan. Ano pala ang purpose ng positive na mga reinforcement? Para ang bata is gagawa siya ng good behavior inside the classroom. Okay? So, yan. Huwag ka na lang mag-punish, no? Reinforcement na lang, puro na lang reinforcement, 'di ba? Next, number 30. Which domain of Bloom's revised taxonomy requires students to justify a decision? So, gusto niyang i-justify yung decision niya. 'Di ba? May ganyan. Yeah, is your answer yes or no? O, justify your answer. Ganyan. So, ano yan? Pag may justification, what is that? And saang domain yan sa revised taxonomy ni Benjamin Bloom? Okay, if you are trying to justify something, no? Ibig sabihin, you are trying to evaluate. You are judging. You are making Ako ba, you are trying to evaluate or knowing the worth or value of something, no? So, yan, justification, that is a form of evaluating. Okay, a form of evaluating. Next, number 31. Which learning theory emphasizes observation and imitation? O, binalik lang din, teachers. Pag observation, imitation, tandaan, social learning theory. Sino nga yung proponent niyan? Albert Bandura. Okay, Albert Bandura. Next, 32. A teacher allows students to work in groups to solve real-life problems. This strategy reflects, ano yan siya? So, si teacher, he or she allows students niyan to work in groups para makasolve ng real life. What is that? Problems man. So, that is problem-based learning. Kasi may problem, di ba? And the students will solve that problem real life. So that is problem-based learning. Next, 33. Which is the best example of authentic? Again ha, pag authentic po, teachers, when we talk about authentic, real. Ibig sabihin, um, may first-hand experience yung bata, no? Experiential. Talagang na-experience niya. Hands-on. Authentic yan. Real. So, saan dyan yung real, authentic? The correct answer we have portfolio. Okay? Portfolio. Ang multiple choice kasi, matching type, traditional yan. Ang oral receipt, although ang oral receipt parang nagsasalita yung bata. But then again, knowledge pa rin yan, 'di ba? Knowledge pa rin yan. Hindi pa nila na-apply. Wala pang application ng real life pag oral recitation. So, may application kapag portfolio. 'Di ba? Kasi sa portfolio, you are trying to document, you're trying to isali mo doon yung reflection mo, 'di ba? Based on your experiences, 'di ba? Your reflection, kung ano yung natutunan mo, 'di ba? On that particular experience. So, letter C, portfolio. That's the most authentic. Tandaan po ha, ang portfolio is one of the authentic assessment. No? Portfolio assessment, authentic yan siya. Okay, portfolio. Hindi lang yan siya basta-basta collection lang, documentation and everything, but it is an authentic assessment. An output-based authentic assessment. Okay? Sige, let's have number 34. Who proposed the hierarchy of needs? O, tandaan, alam dapat natin nito. We have Abraham Maslow. So, siya po yung nag-propose ng hierarchy of needs, diba? Starting with your physiological needs or the basic needs like food, clothing, shelter. And then next, we have the safety and security needs. Next, you have love and belongingness, diba? And then next, you have self-esteem, diba? And prestige. Tapos yung highest na gusto natin ma-reach, hopefully, we have the self-actualization or self-realization. So, yeah. Next, we have 35. A learner studies because she enjoys learning. O, ganyan sana ang mga learner, no? So, 'di ba nagse-study siya kasi na-enjoy niya mismo yung pag-learn. O ganyan dapat, 'di ba? O gusto mong mag-study kasi na-enjoy ka sa pag-study. Gustong-gusto mong mag-study kasi nga yeah, it's from within. It comes from within, 'di ba? Yung motivation mo. And that is intrinsic motivation. Pero kung yung motivation mo ay mag-study ako para maragaluhan ako ni mommy, ni mommy ng iPhone, iPhone 17, o, diba? Ganyan. So, that is actually not comes from within, but it's extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic siya. Okay? Or bigyan ka ng pera, that's why you want to study. Okay? Pero pag it comes from within, intrinsic yan. Next, which classroom management technique is preventive? Tandaan ha, according to Jacob Kunin, when we talk about preventive, anticipatory, diba? Proactive. So, kailangan may classroom rules, diba? So, one of which, it is establishing classroom rules. Bakit preventive? Para ma-prevent na may away-away, para hindi chaotic ang classroom, diba? Ayan. So, I need to establish classroom rules. And dapat may routine. Ayan, classroom routine. Okay, next, 37. Which type of validity determines whether a test measures what it intends to measure? So again, pag a test intends to measure what it intends to measure, that is actually construct validity. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, may construct validity yung test mo or valid mismo yung test mo. Kasi nga, it measures what it intends to measure. So, kung ano yung outcomes, learning outcomes, sa TOS mo, Table of Specifications, o, dapat tugma siya sa kung ano yung mga test items mo. 'Di ba? So, letter B, construct validity. Kasi kung walang construct validity, expected mo na it's either mataas ang scores ng mga bata kasi easier yung test item or bababa yung scores nila kasi difficult yung test item. Diba? So, walang validity sa test item na yun. Sige, number 38. The K-12 curriculum is primarily designed to develop learners who are ano ba ang gustong i-develop sa K-12 curriculum? Ang gusto ng K-12 curriculum, one of their goals is to develop learners to become globally competitive. Kaya nga, 'di ba? We are trying to kumbaga align with the standards, no, international standards because we of course our the Department of Education wants the students, no, na maging globally competitive, especially if they want to work abroad. O, so walang papatalo, no? So, kung skills man lang, kung knowledge man lang, magaling din ang mga Pilipino. Kaya that's why they have this K-12 curriculum. Kaya ka, di ba, sa senior high school, usually sa senior high school, di ba, siya na mag-start na may mga skill-based activities, yung mga bata, ayan. So, para maging globally competitive. Next, number 39, which teaching strategy best develops higher order thinking skills? O pag higher order thinking skills, hindi pwede memorize lang, hindi pwede puro drills lang, no? Hindi pwede copying notes lang. Gone are those days. Hindi na yun pwede ngayon. So, dapat inquiry-based learning. O, minsan nga, di ba, pinapagawa mo pa yung students ng SIPs, science, no? Science Investigatory Project. Yung iba din, magpapagawa ka ng research, no? Yung iba din, magpapagawa ka ng or mag-conduct ng debate. Ayan, diba? To know the scientific inquiry or at least man lang the inquiry, no? Inquire, ask questions, no? Start to investigate. Ayan. So letter C. Ayan. Next. In outcome-based education, instruction begins with, o tandaan, pag OBE, wag kalimutan, it begins with the end in mind. Ano yung end in mind? The learning outcomes, no? Kaya kailangan talaga i-identify talaga ang learning outcomes because lahat, no, ng lesson, ng content, ng assessment, activities mo must be aligned with the learning outcomes. Okay? Ayan. Which is not a characteristic of formative assessment. Saan dyan yung hindi daw characteristic ng formative? Hindi characteristic. So, ibig sabihin ng hindi characteristic, hindi kasali, no, as formative assessment. So, tandaan, ang hindi kasali dyan is yung letter D. Determines final grades only. Kasi pag final grades na po, that's summative yan siya. Ang nag-determine po ng grado ng bata is yung summative. The summative test result. But sa formative, hindi. Kasi ang formative po, it is recorded siya, but not graded. Okay? Ayan. So, conducted during instruction, tama yan. It provides feedback. Yan dapat, minsan lang, hindi yan ginagawa ng isang teacher kasi nga, si teacher, wala na, di ba? Hindi na makaprovide agad ng feedback. Ayan. Provide feedback. So, importante yan siya para malaman ng teacher, ng students, monitor din kung may natutunan ba ang students o wala. And of course, improves learning. So, formative yan. Formative. Pero kapag grades, summative na yan. Okay? recorded and rated kasi ang summative. Next, 42. According to Vygotsky, effective learning occurs within the, ano nga yun? Sabi ni Vygotsky, effective learning, it occurs within the ZPD, Zone of Proximal Development. So, kaya na ng bata to act or to perform a task independently without the assistance, no? Without the assistance or without, yeah, kasi dati, ang bata kailangan pa ng assistance, kailangan patulungan, pero ngayon, magaling ng bata at he or she can perform on his or her own. So, yan, ZPD. Next, a teacher provides hints while students solve problems independently. This is called, anong tawag dyan? Pag si teacher, nagpo-provide siya ng hint or clue. Binibigyan niya ng clue si student. While si student ay nagsasolve no, independently. That is actually called, kasi nagbibigay ka ng clue, so parang tinutulungan mo siya. Giving assistance, and that is scaffolding. Okay, scaffolding. Letter B, scaffolding. Okay, next. Which is the highest level of Krathwohl's affective domain? Sige, ano ang highest level sa affective domain? Kasi ang cognitive domain, yung kay Benjamin Bloom, di ba? Creating, yung highest. Ngayon, kay Krathwohl, saan dyan yung highest? Okay, the highest level we have, that is the characterization. Okay, the character. Kasi nga, affective domain, di ba? The emotions, no? Paano ng bata na, ayan, yung feelings niya, di ba? Paano, kumbaga, marunong yung bata to use his or her feelings and emotions, no? How to apply it, no? Ayan. So, characterization, of course, yung pag malaman na ng bata yan, it will be part of their character as a person. Let's say, for example, one of the affective, gusto mo na yung bata is magaling silang mag-take care ng environment and yung coverage for the exam. Yan. Then, of course, you will know kung ilang test items for remembering, for understanding, for applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So, with the TOS, it ensures na valid, may content validity yung test items na yan. Okay? That's why very important yung TOS. Okay, next. Which assessment tool is most appropriate for evaluating laboratory skills? So, syempre, pag laboratory skills, ang very important for that is the checklist. Okay, that's the most assessment tool, no, na appropriate to evaluate the laboratory skills. Of course, diba, to check, you're going to check if ang students ay kaya bang ma-perform itong process na ito, 'di ba? Kaya ba niyang mag-identify ng mga correct laboratory apparatus, ganyan. Okay? So, yan siya. Next, number 47, which learner characteristic should be considered first in planning instruction? Okay, which learner characteristic should be considered first in planning? So, dapat ang first na i-consider is ang prior knowledge. Mahalaga talaga ang prior knowledge. Yan talaga ang very important na dapat sa alang-alang i-consider natin as a teacher, no? Kung may alam ba ang student may alam ba ang students sa topic na yan? Kasi kung walang alam yung students, naku, mas mahihirapan ka kasi mag-back to basic ka pa. 'Di ba? Back to fundamentals. Pero kung alam mo na may prior knowledge pala ang bata, okay. Ipa-recall mo na lang ito. And then you enhance more, 'di ba? Or add more, 'di ba? Sa alam ng mga bata. So ganyan. So very important to consider the prior knowledge. Okay, next. A teacher who continuously updates instructional strategies demonstrates, ano yan, kapag nag-update ng mga strategies. Hmm. 'Di ba? Like, hindi lang, 'di ba may mga teacher na as time goes by, nagre-reflect sila na, ay, hindi pala dapat ganito yung teaching style ko. Dapat ganito pala para mas maintindihan ako ng mga learners ko, para hindi din ako mahirapan magturo sa kanila. Ganyan. So, pag ganyan yung ability ni teacher, no? So, ibig sabihin si teacher ay may very good professional growth, 'di ba? So, you want to grow sa teaching profession mo. You want to be the best teacher. Ganyan, ganyan, 'di ba? You want to be the best teacher. Gusto mo na ma-remember ka ng students mo, 'di ba? Kasi dahil gusto mong ma-remember ka nila dahil magaling kang magturo. So, you try to change how you, or you try to improve, no, your teaching skills, no. So yeah, mga strategies mo in teaching, 'di ba? Kasi bawat teacher may iba't ibang strategies, 'di ba? Para mas mabilis lang nila na maturo sa students, para makagets ka agad ng students kung ano yung ibig mong sabihin, 'di ba? So, yan. So, open to professional growth yung tawag dyan. Next, number 49. Which principle supports differentiated instruction? Okay, saan dyan yung sumusuporta ng DI? Differentiated, tandaan, dapat varied or diverse. So, learners have diverse needs. Okay, next. Okay, ay, ano na. Sige, which classroom question promotes critical thinking? So, you want your students to promote their critical thinking. Diba? Kasi sa critical thinking, they will have to assess their own thinking, evaluate their own thinking. So, usually, ang mga question na dapat para dyan is dapat mag-start siya with why. Okay? Why, how, yan. Critical thinking yan. Diba? Yan. Critical thinking, you are trying to know, 'di ba? Kung kaya ba ng bata mag-evaluate sa kanyang own thinking, analyze, ganyan. Okay, so ayun. So dapat why. Okay, mag-start talaga sa why if you want to develop critical thinking ng bata. But then how. Okay? Ayan. Para hindi siya convergent masyado. Sige, let's have number 51. Which Okay, sige. So, saan ba dito yung criterion reference? That is actually letter C. No? So, measuring against the learning standards. So, for example, may rubric ka, no? You want your students to perform a role play. So, in performing a role play, syempre may standards, may siniset the standards sa teacher, may rubric as a teacher, diba? And of course, sa criterion reference, hindi ka nakabase sa kung ano yung background ng students. For example, dahil honor student sila, hindi ganon. No? You are trying to measure the ability of students based on your standards, no? The standards or the learning standards. Okay? So yan siya. So letter C ang tamang sagot natin dito. Okay, measuring against learning standards. Okay, next. Which teaching method best develops communication? So better if it's role playing, no, for communication skills. Next, number 53. Which learning theory supports discovery learning? Sige, saan dyan yung discovery learning? So, for discovery learning, it must be Bruner. Okay? Discovery learning because, diba, yung social learning theory niya that the students, of course, um, can understand, can have knowledge, no? Kapag he or she is trying to explore kung ano nakikita niya. Okay? Ano yung na-observe niya. So, discovery learning niya. Okay? Letter B, we have Jerome Bruner. And also din po, kay Albert Bandura kasi yun, social learning, no? Itong kay Bruner din, we have the, tawag nito, yung constructivist, that the students can understand or can has his or her own ideas. So, magkakaroon siya ng idea niya kapag, okay, of course, considering the experiences, considering the knowledge, the prior knowledge ng bata. So, he or she is trying to explore. Okay? Magta-try sila mag-explore. Okay? So, yan siya. Next, number 54. What is the primary purpose of classroom assessment? Sige, ano ang purpose ng classroom assessment? So, the primary purpose, of course, of classroom assessment is, yan. So, ito yung kanyang purpose. Na bakit nag-a-assess tayo inside the classroom? Bakit kailangang i-measure, no, yung performance ng mga bata? Because you want to improve the student learning. Okay? So, you want to improve the student learning. So, that's actually the main purpose why we conduct classroom assessment. To improve the student learning. The next, we have 55. Which cognitive process involves breaking information into parts? Again, which cognitive process involves breaking information? So, yung kanina, sinabi ko, breaking down information, no? From general idea to specific, no? So, that is analyzing, okay? Is analyzing. Letter B. Wait. Ay. So, letter B yan siya. Tandaan po ha, pag breaking information into parts, that is letter B, analyzing. Okay, analyzing. Next, number 56. Which law states that satisfying consequences strengthen behavior? Sige, anong law yan siya? Anong law ang nagsasabi that you need to satisfy consequence? For example, if you have positive consequence, positive effect, so it will likely strengthen the behavior. Pero kung negative effect naman yung nangyari, then it will weaken the behavior, diba? So, ano yan siya? That is actually law of effect, according to Edward Lee Thorndike. Satisfying consequences strengthen. So, which teaching aid appeals most to visual learners? That is actually the infographic. Okay, tandaan, infographic. So, yan. So, syempre, pag visual learners, kailangan may mga diagrams, 'di ba? May mga, ano pa ba, so, visual learners, so kailangan may mga diagrams, may mga charts, no, makikita. And the best for that is, of course, infographic. So, podcast, audio recording, audio pa rin. Discussion, audio pa rin yan. Okay? So, ganyan. Okay, so, it must be summative. Okay, so next tayo. Okay, let's have number 59. A learner creates a concept map connecting ideas, no? So which constructivist principle is demonstrated? Yan. So ano 'yon? Learner creates a concept map connecting ideas, no? Kaya ang pwede dyan. A concept map connecting ideas.